subscribers and alike. This your boy Light Lucifer and Prince coming at you once again. I just tried to do a live earlier, but I guess it kind of kicked out because I had to take the little location guard off. But anyway, what I'm doing now at this moment, while people get to roll in, because usually it takes time for, you know, take about a minute for people to start rolling in. Chats are enabled, and this is a question and answer forum, basically going live. So if you have questions and concerns about anything in this live, please, 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 definitely email me. Serious inquiries only. Okay. So we're just gonna let a couple people roll in because I know it's been a while since I did live, so it might take a little minute. But the reason why I tell people serious inquiries only is because I want people to be able to access me on a personal level. And still waiting for people to roll in. Haven't seen anybody pop up yet. But at the same token, this is something that I'm trying to do for at least probably try to do it at least once a week. So let's give people a chance to roll in. And if you're rolling in, please leave a chat. Let me know where you at, and we can get it rolling once people start showing in. So I'll take it from there. I do not know why it's not working. What's going on? I don't see nobody in the audience. This is weird. Where is everybody at? Okay. I seen one person come in, but that's one person. Okay, got one person coming in. Welcome's in. Let's let the class fill up. See who else we got. Cause it's gonna take a couple people. It's gonna take a couple minutes because you know YouTube is shadow banning, so I'm not that famous, you know. So it's gonna take a minute. This is question and answer forum. So basically, if you have questions or you have answers, if you need answers to, I should say, then feel free. You know what I'm saying? Feel free to address it. Yeah, I am shadow banned. I'm going on 3 minutes, and I'm going on 3 minutes, and I got two people here. How you doing, Blairs? How you doing? Peace and light to y'all. But yeah, it's going on 3 minutes, and I got two people here. So let's let it roll for a little bit more, a little bit longer. Hope everybody's in good spirits. Like I said, I'm trying to do this at least once a week, so that way I can engage people on a quicker basis as opposed to whatever. So with that being said, the class that we do have here right now, while everybody else is rolling in, let's start it off. Yeah, it's not even showing a number. That's crazy. That's insane. So the two people we do have here, shoot your questions if you do have them. We're just gonna kick it off and just make them mad even further. If you have any questions, let me know so we can get this started. No questions? Yeah, they're not even showing the number of participants. That's pretty bad. And this is one reason why I said I wanted to go on Rumble. Because going on Rumble is basically like, it's just, or going to like even a podcast or something. Let's see. I appreciate it, Zen. Okay, after going on 5 minutes, we have three people. But it doesn't discourage me. But going to a new platform is one of the reasons why, if I go to the platform, is basically it encourages me to not be shadow banned and keep going on doing what I'm doing. But for my particular YouTube subscribers, then it is what it is. Now, I'm gonna start this off. Basically, what these question and answer forums are about are for peculiarities in the particular questions you may have in regards to your misunderstanding. Now, I will say this. There are certain things I'm not going to say. There are certain things I'm not going to address. That's why I tell people to email me and schedule a consultation. However, because particular reason, hold on, let me see. Particular reason, Yeah, I looked at that last night, and I'm definitely going to do a podcast. But particular things I'm not going to discuss as far as the sensitivity of the issues in commercial law and whatever, or I'm not going to address sensitive topics such as the more intricate parts to it, such as the set off, discharge, bill of exchange, um, things like that, fee schedules. Those things are more sensitive, which is what this platform really wants to stop people from listening to or trying to learn, and which is fine. But at the same token, um, I know that because of the sensitivity of the things I talk about, YouTube often wants to either ban creators or quote unquote totally just make them non-relevant. Let's see, we got somebody else here. We got somebody else here, but it's not showing. It's fine. I'm gonna keep rolling. But yeah, it's particularly one of those situations where questions and answers is basically like if you have a particular question, please ask. We can get this popping. Don't let me be the star of the show. You know, this is your live feed. I know. Before I go further, I know a lot of people's their particular their particular frame of reference has always been talking about the UCC1, the secure party creditor process. You know, and the reason why you're becoming an SPC, I appreciate it D38, but the reason why you become an SPC is because you try to keep these people off your back. And it's not shirking your responsibility like what I call company men would say, but it's allowing you to enable yourself to keep your property and what you have. But it goes deeper than what you think is what is considered property, like stuff you can touch. It goes into details about your intangible property first. See, that's the thing that you never had control of. You never had control of your intangible property. You've only had control over, well, at least you think you do. You only had usage, I should say, of intangible property, but you never owned it. Becoming an SPC means you basically now are in control of that intangible property. So it gives you greater leverage. I said it in my videos before, and I say it again. It gives you control. It gives you ultimate control. See, they use it, but now that you become an SPC, you control it. It's a big difference. You utilize it, they use it, but you don't own it. And the reason why you're supposed to embark upon this journey with an open mind, irrespective of what anybody says, is because they don't want you to have any ultimate control. Who we got here? Hold on. Now it's not allowing me to see the chats. Like, geez, I'm that hated. I'm that hated and can't be related. Yeah, you never been taught. You never been taught. Oh, now they let me see it. You never been taught it because guess what? The moment you actually open your eyes and see it for what it is, now you start to utilize it for its general purpose. A lot of people on these channels that I've dealt with over the years, they've often tried to use the knowledge and try to pilfer through the knowledge and sift through what they want people to know and try to keep people intrigued. That's unfair and it's robbing people of their time. When you do that, you are not enabling people to have access duly to what you freely have access to. Each one teach one. So when it comes down to not being taught or not being properly taught or adequately taught, then you don't know how to use it. And that's the problem with a lot of people. People have asked me questions. How do you discharge? First off, you don't discharge. What you do is you set off. Do you discharge a mortgage? No, you just set it off. What do you do about court cases? Whoa, I had this question asked to me before. Particularly, what do you do about court cases? There are a few exceptions, but you cannot use this process. So don't even try. And if people out there on YouTube, out there in the YouTube universe, trying to tell people that they can get them out of prison for crimes that they committed against people and property, they're lying and they're scammers. You cannot get somebody out of prison using this process because if they harmed a person and their property, then they broke natural law. Now, traffic tickets. I had somebody ask me about traffic tickets. I'm like, okay, those are negotiable. It's civil infraction. Anything civil is not harming anybody, any person, or their property. It's just simply a low court matter. I also had somebody ask me a question about how do you authenticate the birth certificate? Go to the Department of State website. Simple as that. I had another person ask me a question about what about child support? This is very tricky. Child support is very tricky. Now, the question asked was, how do I discharge child support? You can't. Okay? You can't. Anyone who tells you can, they're lying to you. What you can do with child support is you can accept it for its value. Now, people are like, well, what is it? How much are you in arrears for child support? It's a particular amount, right? Okay, you accept that child support amount for value, but you can only do it as a secured party creditor. If you're not a secured party creditor, forget about it. It's not going to work. Now, somebody asked me about probation. The question was like, how do I discharge probation? You cannot. Know why? Because you signed it, you had to complete it to the duration because it's a contractual nexus, and trust me, those people are not going to let you go until the day it expires. All contracts have expiration dates. All of them do. There was another person who asked me about going back into time, like they're going to go into a time machine and revoke all signatures on all their contracts. You can't do that. All contracts have an expiration date. Just like licenses expire, everything can expire. As if it has a certain date of determination, or if you don't wish to embark upon it, it can be canceled. Everything can be negotiated, except for those things which you naturally obligate yourself to. So let me see. Hold on. The biggest one was with the courts. One that forced me into traffic under. You have 4 more without insurance. It's over insurance, but I had changed the car in my vehicle. Well, those are inconveniences, But as long as they know you coming in there correct, then you're not trying to use these processes to basically get out of your certain obligations. Then fine, by all means. These processes are for responsible people. Responsible people. The reason why I say it is because over the years, so many people have used these processes in such a negative connotation that it has brought such negative light on the usage of it. Because now that it's out there in the open and people are starting to learn how to use it, now they're going to try to make any excuse to say that it doesn't work. Yes, it does. All you have to do is just be in right with law. Natural law, not man's law. Once you follow natural law, you don't have to worry about man's law. You see what I'm saying? You didn't have to pay or go to court. You show your documents and everything's good. Okay, well that's particularly that set off. It's over with. It's a done deal. You know what I'm saying? It's a done deal. They let it go based upon the notion that particularly you showed responsibility. They didn't want to. You showed responsibility. They didn't want to have accountability. That's the reason why they basically just let it slide. Now, what other questions did I have? People ask me. About 1041. You can't fill out a 1041 until you get an EIN number. Question, how do you get an EIN number? Answer, basically, you go to the IRS website. Don't cost you nothing, but 15 minutes of your time. And whenever they ask you what you want to put the EIN number, put it under trust. In discussion. Another question somebody asked me. I'm trying to remember because I had a lot of questions asked me, but it's repetition. So I'm trying to see exactly what were some of the key points that people were talking about. Oh, this was another one. People were asking me about obtaining their children back from the state. This particular process does not apply to that. Not at all. It does not apply to that. It doesn't apply. Do you have to place your underage child in UCC files? Yeah, UCC 3. Simple as that. You place them on UCC 3, and you also place them on your security agreement, if you have one. Most people don't even know what it is or what it's viably used for. You don't have to put your security agreement with your UCC 1 filing. What you do is you take that UCC 1 and you actually file with the Secretary of State. UCC 3 is an amendment which includes your child, And then you put in the security agreement and you file that in the county recorder's office. Thank you, Blairs. I appreciate it very much. But yeah, you file it in the county recorder's office, which is basically your county commissioner's office. So you take them there. You don't take them to court. Don't file that security agreement in court. You don't even have to take the security agreement to a court case. Security agreements detail real property. So you don't have to file that in a court. Not at all. So what you would do is you would take that and file it in the county recorder's office, which is county commissioner's office, or county of public works, whatever you wish to call it, wherever you reside. They call it different things, but it's all the same thing. Then it was another thing. Do you have to have a driver's license? Question. Answer, yes. Now, a lot of people may disagree with me, but I'm telling you right now, the object of becoming a secure party creditor is becoming responsible for all the contracts in which you engage. Okay? So to all the contracts to which you engage, you basically are not liable for the usage of it, your natural self, not by using it responsibly, but you're keeping the commercial entity on it out of liability. I tell you what, because I'm out getting dry, because you already know what's coming next. You already know what's coming next. So just bear with me. The obvious thing is, people be like, well, you don't have to have a license. You already have one. It's called a Social Security card. How do you think you obtained a driver's license? What had to be issued first before you even obtained it? You ride around without them plates. And with the social climate of today, I don't really think you want to play around with these people. I really don't think you really want to play around. See, there's nothing wrong with licensure. If you want to own a business, you'll go get a business license, but you won't get a driver's license. I'm not understanding. The math ain't mathing with that one. I want a business. Okay, but I don't have a driver's license. I don't understand. They're both licenses. And both of them are considerably to conduct business. Now, a lot of people might be like, well, my right to travel. Well, what about my right to travel? Yes, you have a right to locomote or be locomotive. That doesn't regard it to a train. I know they told you that language is regarding to a train, but no. You have a right to be locomotive, be in motion, travel. We all do. But it's a safe way to do it. The safe way to do it is have your license in good standing. If you really want to go a step further, and I've said this in videos before, get an international driver's license. AAA, $25 application, boom, there you go. So they can't suspend the international driver's license. They can't. Prove it to me. They can't. What's up? What's up, fam? But it's the truth. They cannot. You can't have you. I want somebody to prove it to me in any type of federal case whatsoever that they can suspend a federal driver, a federal court case now, that they can suspend an international driver's license. I'll wait. Never happened. Licenses are only suspended via state jurisdiction. Geneva Convention, 1947. Overrode all that. You're welcome. Now, a lot of people ask me, well, why do you do this? Well, hell, why not? Answer, why not? The reason why you should be engaged in doing this is because, particularly, you deserve it. You deserve your liberty. You deserve your mobility. You deserve it. Don't you believe you do? If you don't believe you do, you wouldn't be on my channel. You know? That's a fundamental fact. However, a lot of people are afraid. And that's the thing I try to express to people. You have nothing to fear. You have nothing to fear. As long as you do what you need to do, you don't have nothing to fear. Stand right, stand there. Operate your documents, operate sovereign, operate private. You ain't got nothing to worry about. See, it's the people who do wrong who have things to worry about. So if you don't do nothing wrong, you have nothing to worry about. Question somebody asked me, can I get in trouble for doing this? Answer, no. Absolutely not. No. You can only get in trouble for doing troublesome things, but not for doing something for an embetterment of legal purpose. Somebody came in. What is the danger in using private versus public together? There is no danger. And let me explain. The best way I could put this generalistically is you operate in both at the same time, even without being a secured party creditor, even without being one. You know why? Take the UCC one totally off the table. Take it off. Act like you never heard of it. Just for a moment. If you can, for a moment, you can just pretend that you don't even know about it. Okay? You with me? You've already been doing it. The social went on the paper for employment purposes. You signed up for it. What was public? Your signature. What was private? Straw man. Because the operation of the transmitted utility, you knew nothing about. You've already been operating. But now you're operating in it. Come back to reality, what the UCC1 is, now you're operating in a commercial respectability. Capiche? You've already been doing it. But what's the harm in it? The harm in it is not knowing about it in the first place. That's the only harm that could ever come from it. Straight up. Not knowing about it. See, ignorance is bliss. But he who increases wisdom increases sorrow. But sometimes you have to realize that's in the first stages. You come into a certain particular knowledge. Not always. You know? What's another question somebody asked me? Does this work in court? Now I'm going back to this again because I had people ask me before. It all depends on what you've done. You know? If it's in criminal court, more than likely, probably not. I'm not even going to fade you. More than likely, probably not. Probably 85% to 90% chance it won't work. It won't, because there's intent attached to a particular crime. How do you separate intent from a crime is virtually impossible. So you can go in there and be SPC all you want. Them people want some surety. And they want you in their cell. They want you in their bank. That's what a jail is. Straight. Just like you keep gold inside of a vault for safekeeping, that's the same thing they do with people. Straight. Not lying. Straight up. That's why I tell a lot of melanated brothers, stay the fuck up out of there. Stay up out of there. Trust me, stay up out of there. You do not belong. Nobody belongs there. Nobody belongs there. Especially if you didn't do wrong or don't do wrong. You don't belong there. Don't come back with these people. That's another thing. If you know you've done wrong, please do not try to do this. Just accept your fate. Because it brings ill repute on the rest of everybody else that's trying to extricate themselves from this. And now we all look like quacks because you were trying to get out of something you knew you did. Excuse me as I take a bite. Gotta piss off people who don't like me eating fruit. Ooh, woo, woo. Straight. But still, if you know you did wrong, it is what it is. Now, let me go back to mortgages. I know this has been a problem for a lot of people. A lot of people I went through over the years. Mortgages are very tough. However, they are not impossible. You have to first become an SPC. Have all of it drawn up. Don't put off your paperwork. That's another thing people do. They delay in their paperwork. Do not delay. If they send you notices, please get on it as soon as possible. Don't take that letter and hide it under that favorite stack of mail that you like to ignore. That'd be a worse mistake. For one or two reasons. You consent that what they're saying you did, what you owe, you actually owe, which in and of itself, if you have no proof of claim, they win. Never put off your paperwork in any legal circumstance. Never do it. Never do it. When anybody sends you a notice, get on them. Debt collectors, credit card entities, court notices, any type of notice. Do not put off your paperwork. Don't do it. Because in the end of the day, well, the beginning, in the end of the day, trust me, they wait for you to tuck your tail and acquiesce. So they can go into court and say, well, John Doe or Jane Doe, they didn't respond. The judge is going to be like, you know what? You're absolutely correct. What you need to do for your remedy is to not put off your paperwork, put your paperwork in their face, let them not respond, take your proofs of claim to court, and tell the judge I would like a motion for summary judgment for their failure to state a claim upon which relief can be granted. They didn't rebut. They haven't rebutted. And if they have rebutted, grant them a continuance so they can't. I'll give them a second chance. Grant them a continuance. All this documentation, I'll send them again. Grant them a continuance for 10 days. Set it for 30. Guarantee you will never go back to court again. I even went so far in one of my videos to even show people how to handle debt collectors. It's very easy when you get to know this stuff. Because off of camera, I sent them my documentation, registered certified mail return receipt. Once I have that receipt, you can't tell me you didn't get it. That's the purpose of it. Somebody signed for it. Here we go. Now, that number that's on the top of that receipt, you send that into them, and guess what you do? You put it on all top of your documentations from your case number and the date you sent it and that number. So it's going to be like a long number. That becomes the reference number. You literally aced them. Them people will never step foot in court ever again. Never. Never. Oh, here we go. We got an agent up in here. Indigenous. You can tell it's a fraud. Yeah, I bet you see that company, man. Can you address in respect to the straw man versus man? Man versus straw man. Man is natural. Straw man is artificial. However, they both reflect each other. It's called the mirror image. See, I love when agents come on my shit. I don't even get mad at y'all no more. Like, wow. And then you mad racist, bro. But it's fine. Your ignorance is, you a coward inherently. That's one thing I know about y'all racists. Y'all just little dick cowards. But anyway, yes. The natural man versus the artificial one. However, the artificial one gets put on paper. The natural man signs for it. And it is what it is. And you're right. It is a fraud, Mr. Agent Man. You feel me? It is a fraud. But we didn't perpetuate it. They created it, not us. Oh, my bad. I'm tripping because I saw the name. My bad. I'm tripping. I thought you was one of them guys, bro. I'm sorry. I thought you was one of them guys, but I was like, my bad. I retort, bro. I retort. My bad. I was like, whoa. My bad. Nah, apologies, bro. I'm sorry, G. My bad. Now I feel bad now, damn. Nah, my bad. My sincerest apologies. No, because the reason why I even did that, like a reaction, because years ago when I used to do lives, and I used to get involved like tough. It used to always be like people who would always chime in and say like some of the stupid shit, and it's just like intellectually to the front, but to the rear is like, oh, here we go. But my apologies, bro. I sincerely. But anyway, back to the straw man. Let's get to it. Question: what it is? Basically, the straw man is used as a transmitting utility to allow something to go from A to B to C. Sort of like putting an ATM card in. Natural man has to put the ATM card in, which is basically a signature. The transmitting utility is the ATM actually about to give you money. However, as favorable as it may sound in the ATM analogy, that's not the case with the legal system. They want you to sign or become a signature for something they're basically about to set you up for, which in and of itself inadvertently is fraud. However, a lot of people do not do their due diligence to understand commercial law. Commercial law in and of itself is something that a lot of people aren't privy to. And because they're not privy to the actual intricacies of it, that's how these people keep winning. And the more ignorant we stay to it, then the more we're never going to really progress. See, the culture we live in, people are stuck in social movements. Like, they want progression. You're not going to get progression until you actually equip yourself with adequate knowledge to progress. You know? And it's like you have to equip yourself with the stuff. The one key point I try to explain to people, this is something you were never supposed to know about in the first place. Contract is law, and contract is law, and law is contract, basically. But natural law is what we govern ourselves by. But if you govern yourself by natural law, then you're supposed to be able to have a conscientiousness about what you're filling out. Story time. I remember this was years ago when I used to use banks. I don't use them no more because most accounts, not all accounts, are regulated by Title 26, which basically gives the IRS, without your permission, well, actually with your permission because you signed up for it, access to your bank accounts without your express consent, verbally, but implied because you signed. And I was signed with documentation and everything, like, just about to hook up the account and say, go, let's rock with it. You know what this person had the audacity to tell me? Bank clerk, you can't sign your documentation like that. Huh? I said, so who made you my lawyer? How can you tell me how to sign my documentation? How? I said, well, I don't accept no third parties involved with this, but I mean, this is the way I endorse my documentation. All rights reserved. She said, well, if she said that basically if you endorse your documentation like this, then it's not valid. I said, well, it's not valid because that means that you must have some sort of intention to defraud me. I swear I did this. I took the whole application and I ripped it. Take your information with you. Don't ever leave your information behind with these entities. Never do it. They wouldn't let you restrict the signature as you did for a whole year. Exactly. Because they have an intent to defraud you. UCC 1308, all rights reserved. I do not consent. I do not oblige. Simple as that. I reserve all my rights. Irrespective of me knowing all that is inside this contract. Irrespective of my cognizance of it and the trickery involved with it. I'm going to reserve all my rights to it. Motion pictures do it. TV shows do it. Websites do it. Hell, even the food you eat does it. So why in the world can I reserve my rights as a natural person? Why can only artificial entities reserve their rights? Even though I'm a natural person signing nothing, I can't reserve my rights. No, because their way is we're trying to get something from you. See, if you reserve your rights, that means that they can basically take your money and send it off to loaners, to lenders, specialists. You didn't know that dollar was a note. Yeah, exactly. These people do not really even know this. And if they do know it, they will play dumb. Oh, trust me. I've had many experiences over the years. You know, I've had a question. People were asking me about the social security number. Answer, Form 521. Simple as that. Probably never heard of it. Fine, it is what it is. However, 521 is particularly nullifying it. You know? However, people are afraid because they're like, well, would I not get my social security pension and all that stuff? Listen, if you want to embark upon this journey, you better buckle up. You better get off the government titty, okay? Buckle up. Because if you're not paying taxes, you're a secure party creditor, you own all your property, you manage all your property, you're in good standing, you have legal leverage, and you're sovereign in regards to all your commercial affairs, what the fuck are you worried about a social security check for? Riddle me that. You know? Explain those forms, please, for those in the back. 521 means basically it's your revocation of election. You are revoking the social security number. Let me tell you something. I said this in my video earlier in my series. For everyone that still obtains a social security card, flip it over if you think I'm lying. Read the fine print on it. It says you have to return it to us whenever we ask for it back. What person in your natural life, you could be 60, 70, all the way down to 20. What person have you known in their life for them to ever ask for it back? What? When has the Social Security Administration ever said, hey, you know what, we need that Social Security card back? Never. They don't. It is your responsibility to return the property. You have to realize it's a principle. When you take something and use something that doesn't belong to you, it's considered what? Theft. So guess what? Here you go. I think this belongs to you. They look at you crazy like, oh, you can't work. Yes, I can. It's called the EIN number. Yes, you can. Yep. Still fill out tax forms. Still, no taxes paid. Yeah, you take this liability you created and you can have it back. And they look at you crazy. The Form 521 is basically you saying, the individual that's attached to this card, that ain't me. It isn't me. That's my alter ego. You wanted me to be him. But unfortunately, I can't. He's such a troublesome guy. He just gets me in a lot of trouble. You know? I'm getting robbed of my wages. You know? He just get me, you know what I'm saying? Exactly. SSA uses stuff. You know, I'm using property that don't belong to me. If I stole somebody's lawnmower out of their garage, I'd go to jail, right? Correct? Right or wrong? I go to jail. What would they say? You took somebody's property. So if this is your property, as you say on this card, why should I be in ownership of it? Ask yourself that question. Matter of fact, don't even ask yourself that question. Ask the Social Security Administration that question. But you said this on the back of this card. And yes, please, people, always make a copy of the back of the card. The number is very important. Straight. Number is very important. Always make a copy before you turn it in. How can you assist my son in getting at a selective service? Well, turn in the social. That's the number. That's the number that's particularly, or hell, do what I did years ago. I didn't even know I was ineligible for it. I did unwittingly, if I did my research. I caught a felony in like, what, 2009? Hell, that totally made me ineligible for everything. I thought I was like, oh man, I can't vote? Shit. Well, I guess all downs have their ups, don't they? You you're removed from voter registration. Fine, thank you. That totally invalidates you for a felony in the legal system. Invalidates you for so much more shit than you even know. Military service, and I damn sure can't go to the military because I'm covered. So I'm not going. Voting, which why would you anyway? And a whole bunch of and jury duty, which is an inconvenience for a lot of people anyway. Because if you put me on that, if you put me in jury duty, boy, everybody going home. Everybody going home, straight up. What you say? What did 12 jurors say? I don't think he did it. I don't think he did it. So that's the reason why they use these things to invalidate your civil duties. Well, I guess I'm not civilly dead anymore. I guess I'm civilly alive. Say he is not the felony charge type. Well, that's understandable. But I'm just using my example. That's what I figured out over the years. I was like, well, I can't vote. But I don't want to. No jury duty. Hell, you paying me $4 a day. That's nothing. And then what else? I can't go to the military. And fourth, I can't go to the military anywhere. I'm covered from head to toe. Oh, well. Straight. I mean, it's one of the situations where 28 United States Code 302 15A. I don't know that off the top of my head, but I only got a few more minutes left, but I'll leave it in the comment section. But yes, people, the object is the actual commercialism that you deal with from day to day. Once the moment you step outside your front door, you are considered business. See, that's why we say private. That's why warrants have to be executed, because they have to describe places to be searched and things to be seized. As long as you keep the public out of your private business, you don't have nothing to worry about. You haven't wanted to turn to SSN for a while now? Well, I'll show you what you experienced in 2016. Matter of fact, April 2016. Go figure. Full circle. But April 2016, I took SS5 fully filled out, and I gave all the, when it says other, please explain, I gave all the reasons on why. And I took it, I stapled it to the front, and I slid it right through the window. And whenever you go in the SSN office, you basically, a Social Security office, you go for other business. Never go for general business like people trying to get one, like these idiots trying to get one. Nah, they think that's the way. It's not. Go for other, because those are the only people who can address it. However, they were trying to tell me at one point that it was like, well, we don't take this. I said, well, the form says return into the SSN office. I'm in the right place. Now, whether or not you knew you were doing how you respectfully did your job or not, it's not my problem. But if you further want to go into a consultation on how to do it, email me. We'll talk about it later. But my time is wrapping up, because I told myself I was going to do like a 45-minute live. Thank you for everybody being here. Strawberries up. All the fruit haters, you know what I'm saying? Have I heard of gold, money of gold back? I will discuss that. No problem. I'll check my email. My email is it's in the video description. luciferlight7@gmail.com. But I will drop that the Blairs. I'll drop that in my next video, my next live. I appreciate everybody for being here. Even the agents, because I love y'all. You're my motivation. Y'all keep me motivated to keep doing this stuff. Because as long as I know that y'all keep hating, I'm doing the right thing. You know what I'm saying? So everybody that attended this live, peace to you. Peace to those who are peaceful. And negativity, you know what it is for you. Hope your family stay in good health, good wealth. Peace, light, love. Y'all take care, man. Y'all be safe. And stay tuned. And my apologies, brother, for, like I told you, don't take it personal, bro. You know what I'm saying? And please, Make sure if you do send me an email, please leave a number so I can contact you immediately. Trust me. Y'all take care. You have a good evening.